Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to KNR Constructions Limited Q3 FY21 earnings conference call. This conference call may contain forward-looking statements about the company which are based on the beliefs, opinions and expectations of the company as on date of this call. These statements are not the guarantees of future performance and involve risks and uncertainties that are difficult to predict. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal for an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. S. Vaikunthanathan, VP Finance, KNR Constructions Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Good afternoon to everyone present on the call. We welcome you to our Q3 FY21 earnings conference call. Today I have Mr. K. Venkatramarao, General Manager, Finance and Accounts, and Strategic Growth Advisors, our Investment Relation Advisor, present on the call. I hope you and your loved ones are safe and healthy. I will first start with an update on the industry update. Along with our company, infrastructure companies across the board have witnessed a marked improvement in execution during Q3 FY21 due to sharp bounce back in labor availability to pre-COVID levels, smoothening of raw material, supply chain and passage of monsoon season. We continue to witness sustained awarding momentum across roads, urban infra, water infra and irrigation segments. Timely dispersal of payments from NHAI along with low interest COVID loans has improved the overall sentiment for the infrastructure sector. The Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has initiated a slew of relief measures like a shift from milestone-based billing to which typically used to range between 45 to 75 days to monthly billing and release of retention money in proportion to the work already executed. These measures have significantly helped to ease the pressure on working capital, immensely supporting the road contractors. The road construction during the last 9 months stood at around 8,200 kilometers, 8% higher than the approximate of 7,600 kilometers in the same period during FY20. Adjusting for the first 20 days of April 2020, wherein no construction activity was allowed, this is a great achievement. The order bid pipeline across road, urban infra, water infra and railways is expected to remain robust and gain further traction as in the union budget. The gross budgetary support towards the capital expenditure has been increased significantly, with the infrastructure being the key beneficiary. The government relaxed the fiscal deficit target to meet the huge funding requirements for productive asset creation with Bharatmala Pariyojana and the National Infrastructure Pipeline getting a major fillip. Capital outlay for the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has been increased by 35% to 1.98 lakh crore in 2021-22 budget, estimates from 1.47 lakhs crore in 2020-21. The central government has also provided a capital of rupees 0.45 lakh crore as a support for the infrastructure pipeline. To meet the significant increase in investment required as per National Infrastructure Pipeline, the government has made an announcement of setting up a new development finance institution with a capital of 20,000 crore to improve the financing availability for the infrastructure. The aim of the institution would be to leverage and provide a debt over 5 lakh crore to the infrastructure sector over the next 3 years, thereby helping to bridge the infrastructure financing deficit. NHAI has set an ambitious target of avoiding highway projects in the range of 4,800 to 5,200 kilometers, higher than the 4,500 kilometer original target the authority has set for itself on FY21. NHAI has awarded 2,423 kilometers national highways till December 2020. NHAI has awarded 3,211 kilometers in the whole FY20. Considering the huge tender bid pipeline of 72,000 crore and with the second half of Q4 historically witnessing a substantial awarding, We expect a significant order inflows for the road and highway sector in the near term as well as in FY22. HAM constitutes a major share of 55% in the order pipeline, followed by EPC at 38%. Two projects are planned to be awarded through the revamped BOT toll model. About 60% of projects are located across the states of Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, Punjab. Irrigation and water infra are also expected to get major impetus in the states of Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, where strong awarding momentum expected to continue. The order bid pipeline across various verticals, road urban infra, water infra and railways will continue to remain healthy over the long term on back of major capital allocations likely over the next 5 years under National Infrastructure Pipeline. The government envisages developing of 34,800 kilometers of highway at a cost of 5.345 lakhs crore under the Bharatmala Pariyojana. So far, the contract has been awarded for a length of 13,521 kilometer roads, and a detailed project report for 16,500 kilometers is currently in the pipeline. NHAI has also plans to raise about rupees 10,000 crores in the current calendar year by monetizing its road assets about 1,200 kilometers with an objective to deleverage itself and enable greater funding for Bharatmala Pariyojana. Toll collection. Q3 FY21 witnessed a marked improvement in toll collections on the back of increased movement of both passenger and commercial vehicles. As per ICRA, the toll collections in September to November 2020 on an average growth by 13%, implying a growth of 8 to 9% traffic. One third of traffic growth was on account of passenger car units and two-thirds on account of commercial vehicles. The better than expected recovery in traffic has arrested major slippages in the credit profile of various toll road assets. According to ICRA, toll collections are likely to grow 14 to 15% in FY22 on a low base in FY21 as the traffic is anticipated to increase by 5% and toll rates are expected to increase by 3 to 4%. To achieve 100% cashless tolling at the toll plazas across the country, electronic toll collection system FASTag will improve mandatory for all vehicles. Will become mandatory for all vehicles from February 15, 2021. NHAI has also decided to do away with the requirement of maintaining a minimum amount in FASTag wallet with an aim to ensure the seamless movement at electronic toll plaza. With more than 2.5 crore users, FASTag currently contribute about 80% of the total toll collection. Daily toll collection through FASTag has crossed the 89 crore mark. This will substantially plunge the toll revenue leakages. Company update. Now coming to the key updates of the company. The operational effectiveness across all our projects reached a pre-COVID level as workforce strength got bolstered to normal level. On 5th October 2020, we had received appointed date for our 5th HAM project, Vattanchadram to Madathukulam Palani HAM project, which is worth 920 crore BPC. The percentage physical progress as on 31st December 2020 for our 5 HAM projects is as follows. Chittoor to Mallavaram is at 72.1%. Ansanpalli to Mangaluru is at 64.2%. Trichy to Kalagam at 58.9%. Magadi to Somwarpet at 22.4%. Vattanchadram to Kulam is at 14%. During the quarter, the execution has equally driven by all our 5 HAM projects. Our deal to divest 3 HAM projects is on track. Out of 624.28 crore equity requirement for all HAM projects, we have already invested 345.57 crore as on 31st December 2020. Our incremental equity requirement stands at 90 crore, 139 crore and 50 crore for FY21, FY22 and FY23 respectively. You can refer slide number 26 of our investor presentation for details on each HAM projects. The toll collection for our Bihar project, Muzaffarpur to Barauni, in Q3 FY21 and 9 months ended FY21 is 11.43 crores and 33.68 crores respectively. We have invoked force majeure clause as per the concession agreement for the reduction in toll collection in this sector and are under discussion with NHAI for eligible compensation. Order book position. Coming to an order book position, during the quarter, we have received an order for upgrading Cheyyur to Vandavasi Polur, including East Coast Link Cheyyur-Panayur Road to two-laning in the state of Tamil Nadu on EPC mode, aggregating to 539 crore, 604 crore, including GST. As on December 31st, 2020, we have an outstanding order book of rupees 7,664 crore. EPC road projects and captive HAM projects constitute 55% of our total order book, while irrigation projects constitute the remaining 45%. Client-wise, 70% of our order book is from third-party clients and balance 30% is from captive HAM projects. Our third-party order book or non-captive order book, which accounts for 70% of the total order book, is skewed between the state government contracts with 54%, whereas 3% is from central government and the balance 13% is of the order book is from other private players. Our current order book position is robust and provides visibility execution over the next 3 years. A robust project award pipeline and ready DPR under Bharatmala project should accelerate awarding activity in the last quarter of this financial year. The process of submitting bids for road projects are currently underway. The average ticket size of the tender is about 1,000 crore. Based on our shortlisted project and bidding pipeline for the current financial year, we are targeting a further order inflow of around 3,000 to 4,000 crore in the forthcoming remaining period of this fiscal year. Irrigation projects. Substantial portion of our dues for irrigation projects in the state of Telangana has been cleared by the state government. We have received about 540 crores till date and expect to receive remaining outstanding amount in near term. This amount includes billed and unbilled and work in progress. At the same time, we have just started our operation at one of the irrigation project sites. Now, I request Mr. K. Venkatrama Rao, our GM, to present the results of the quarter and 9 months ended 31st December 2020. Over to you.
Thank you. Let me take you through the Q3 and 9-month FY21 standalone financial performance. We recorded a 23% year-on-year growth in our total revenue from rupees 558 crores to in Q3 FY22 rupees 686 crores in Q3 FY21. EBITDA came at rupees 135 crores in Q3 FY21, registering a growth of 9% as compared to rupees 124 crores in the same period the last year. EBITDA margin in the current quarter stood at 19.7%. Profit after tax stood at rupees 78 crores in Q3 FY20, up by 93% as against rupees 40 crores post exceptional item of 7 crores in the same quarter last year. In Q3 FY21, one of the old projects, we have received an interest receipt of about rupees 12.60 crores against delay in receipt of the bills. We have registered the same as other income. Correspondingly, the same amount was passed on to the subcontractor, which is reflected in increase in the finance cost in this quarter. Other income also include some of the write-backs of the old liabilities. Now come in our standalone performance for 9-month FY21. Revenue from the operation in 9-month FY21 was up by 13% to rupees 1,767 crores from rupees 1,569 crores in 9-month FY20. EBITDA witnessed a growth of 4% from rupees 340 crores in 9-month FY20 to rupees 354 crores in 9-month FY21. Our EBITDA margin in 9-month FY21 stood at 20%. PAT for 9-month FY20 stood at rupees 167 crores, registering a growth of 6%, as against 158 crores in the same period last year, excluding the exceptional item of 11 crores on account of sale of 100% stake in Walayar projects. to the Q highways. The net profit for 9-month FY21 stand at rupees 178 crores. The debt to equity as on 31st December 2020 is 0.01 times as compared to 0.12 times as on 31st March 2020. As quickly summary for the consolidated performance is as follows. The consolidated revenue for the quarter grew by 22% to rupees 735 crores in Q3 FY21 from rupees 604 crores in Q3 FY20. EBITDA in Q3 FY21 witnessed a growth of 10% to rupees 177 crores as compared to 161 crores in Q3 FY20. EBITDA margin in Q3 FY21 stood at 24%. Net profit for the quarter was 92 crores, registering a growth of 93% as compared to 48 crores for Q3 FY20. Now coming to our consolidated performance in 9-month FY21, revenue from the operation in 9-month FY21 stood at rupees 1,913 crores, up by 11% as compared to rupees 1,722 crores in 9-month FY20. EBITDA witnessed a growth of 10% from rupees 435 crores in 9-month FY20 to rupees 478 crores in 9-month FY21. Our EBITDA margin for 9-month FY21 stood at 25%. PAT for 9-month FY21 witnessed a jump of 64% to rupees 288 crores from rupees 176 crores in 9-month FY20. The net debt to equity as on 31st December 2020 stood at 0.04 times as compared to 0.48 times as on 31st March 2020. With this, we will open the floor for question and answer.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Mohit Kumar from DAM Capital. Please go ahead.
Congratulations on a good set of numbers, sir. Sir, 3 questions, sir. First, are we looking to revise our guidance of what for FY21? I believe the guidance we had given for FY21 was 2,400 crore. And sir, any kind of revenue guidance for FY22? That's the first question.
We have given earlier the guidance for this year to be 2,500 crore. So I think we want to maintain that because things are now, though it is taking an improved this thing, we want to just wait till the March and we want to stay at our own guidance of 2,500 personally.
And anything on FY22, sir? No?
FY22, see, normally we suggest that 15 to 20% we will go for increase in the revenue, which we will be maintaining. But see, time is there till for FY22, so maybe this second quarter we will be in a position to ascertain the exact how the trend is going.
And secondly, sir, has the work started in Kaleshwaram irrigation project awarded in Q1 FY21? I think we had 2 projects, right, which you won Q1?
Sir, this project is yet to be, one project actually we have just started, not in fully phased, but we think that in Q1 FY21 actually we will start the full-fledged actually.
Okay. And thirdly, sir, on the receivable side, I think we had 740 odd crore from Telangana, right? And I think you mentioned 540 crore is balance. Am I right? Am I right in saying that?
No, what we have mentioned that 540 crores we have received actually this money from last November. In last con call we told that actually around 680 crores is outstanding. Against that around 540 crores that money we received as of now, from November till as of now.
From that amount, they've only 140 crore is left. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah. Out of all liability, around 140 is left only.
Okay, understood, sir. Thank you, sir, and best of luck. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Parikshit Kandpal from HDFC Securities. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Congratulations on good set of numbers and also for recovering your pending dues from the Telangana government. So now whatever is outstanding, so that is standard, right? So leaving beside that 140 crores of the old receivables.
That's old is 140 crores and current is, as of date, around 290 crores is the outstanding, which included unbilled also. So definitely 140 crores, which already has been certified, and that amount we are expecting that definitely by March we will receive. So whatever the old liability as of that definitely is going to close by March.
Okay, great, sir. The second question was on your total order inflow. So what is the financial year to date? How much is the total order inflow?
Around 4,000 crores we have received in this year.
And 4,000 you are targeting, 3 to 4,000 you are targeting in the fourth quarter.
Actually, what is happening, as you know, because NHAI is awarding lot of projects, so that's why this is the opportunity to get that. But if you see 4,000 crore, that is sufficient. But now NHAI is giving awarding side is definitely they are giving lot of the projects. So far, we have almost bidded around 15 projects, HAM project as of now, including one EPC project. So we are expecting definitely at least 2 to 3 projects to come. So that's why now when opportunity is there, we are seeing that, and that's why we are targeting that at least 3 to 4,000 crore we should get by March.
And moreover, we will be completing 3 more projects by this June, our existing projects.
Okay, sir. So we may end up this financial year somewhere close to about 10,000 crores of order backlog if we receive this 3 to 4,000 crores of new orders.
Yeah, that's what we are targeting. Let's hope so. We should get.
First question again, sir. I think the VTF sir initially, Vaikunathan sir had given a very strong commentary on overall budget and government focus on infrastructure. So we are largely present in roads and state government irrigation projects. So how do we capture this? Because what we understand is that a lot of increase in the competitive intensity on the ground because of dilution of qualification norms. So on one side we have seen more players coming in. Second, we are seeing that increased competitive intensity even in HAM projects. So how do we, beyond roads and irrigation, which is largely a state subject, so any other segments where we have started building capacity, building teams, or looking to bid, if you can throw some light on the diversification side?
Yeah, already we are also bidding in urban infra, which we got a major flyover in Tamil Nadu, the very big flyover. So we are also on the lookout for the urban infra plus and water infra. Water infra also we are now, our focus is there. Already we have got and we are also looking at it. See, as and when, now as on date, order on hand, we have got a visibility of 2 or 3 years. Visibility will be there by end of March. So by that time, things will also materialize. Some of these urban infra, water infra, road HAM projects will directly materialize.
Okay. Okay, sir. That's all from us. And I have more questions to join the queue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. A reminder to the participants, anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 now. The next question is from the line of Kalpit Narvekar from Allianz Global Investors. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Congratulations on a good set of results and thank you for taking my question. So this 30-40 billion worth of order inflow that you are targeting in fourth quarter, could you share some color on, or is all of it coming from NHAI, or is some coming from the irrigation, or is all of it from HAM or EPC, or what's the breakup?
It is going to blend between HAM and EPC, and mostly whatever we bidded, because we are almost I told you, around 15 bids actually. So worth around 20,000 crores that we have bidded. So out of that actually we are expecting. So it definitely is going to be mix of both EPC and HAM, because EPC also we have quoted. So that's why we have revised our target, because by seeing how NHAI is awarding this project. So based on that we have just revised our guidelines actually for order take for this year.
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you. And could you provide some guidance on order inflow for FY22?
It's too far. Too far. Let us all hope that the trend may continuously, go like that. Maybe before the year end, we may be in a position to say.
Well, like 80 billion of FY20 can sustain and FY21 can sustain FY22, do you think?
See, this Bharatmala project will continue for another 4 to 5 years. So there is no dearth in the orders to be received in the case of urban infra or HAM project or water infra. So, as on date, we are having a sufficient visibility is there. So we will definitely plan accordingly as per the days to come.
Sir, so one last question from my side. So this urban infra and water infra you're talking about, are any of the budget announcements relevant to your the projects you're targeting, and what is the qualification? Are we qualified to do projects in these two categories? Could you share some color on that?
The urban infra, we have done a five junction flyover in Salem. We have completed successfully, and we have also completed one flyover in Coimbatore. Now, what the flyover which we are doing under urban infra is 11.5 kilometer flyover. The longest one in Tamil Nadu. So these all give additional qualification for you to bid for bigger projects like the metro projects and other projects. And similarly, the water infra, we have done reservoir dams, and also now the pump house also we are doing now. This will enhance our eligibility criteria in the future projects.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. I'll come back in a bit.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Vibhor Singhal from Phillip Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you for taking my question, sir. And congrats on a great set of numbers yet again. Sir, what would be our debt level at the standalone level at the end of the quarter?
It is around gross debt is 16 crores, but we have actually cash after bank balance of 43 crores. So that is actually net is negative only.
Net is negative only. Right. Sir, you mentioned that basically in this quarter we had 12 crore of basically interest from the earlier project, which is there in the exceptional other income, and which we passed on to the subcontractor, which led to the higher interest expense.
Yeah, correct.
So basically, sir, if I see the 18 crore of interest expense in this quarter, and if I remove that 12 crores, so our recurring interest expense was around 6 to 7 crores. Is that understanding correct, sir?
Yeah, correct. That is, this is not only interest expenditure. It includes actually what are the bank charges like BC commission, LC commission, includes all the finance cost actually. It is not only interest income, it is the finance cost, yeah. So because now you know that because we have repaid the loan to our promoter also, so that's why there is no interest for this quarter. And what are the outstanding mobilization advance? Now around only 57 crores is the outstanding mobilization advance. On that interest what we have to pay to NHAI, that is also really going to be reduced. So that's why now you can see that around 5 to 6 crores is the finance cost.
And sir, going forward, I think this 5 to 6 crores should remain stable.
That is subject to utilization, because now this quarter actually our debt is utilized because we have received a lot of funds from our irrigation projects, and we have received proceeds from sale of Valayar in the end of the last quarter. So that's why this quarter there will not be much utilization of the working capital. That's why interest is reduced. But definitely based on the requirement and utilization of working capital, it may vary actually. Not much, but definitely it may vary.
Okay. Right. Sure, sir. So my second question was on the margins front. I think we have reported very strong margins again at around 20%. Do you believe these margins will be sustainable going forward in terms of the mix of the order book changing towards irrigation, or in fact because of irrigation projects the margins could actually be higher also?
What we have given guidance is it will between 17 to 18% is a sustainable EBITDA as of now. But definitely once this irrigation project has started contributing in the top line, the margin has been improved. So right now we have around 45% is order of irrigation. So that's why we expect that we should continue actually this margin actually till our irrigation projects are exhausted.
Right, sir. Great, sir. So my last question is on the HAM portfolio. So as we see, I think, sir, there was I think a couple of quarters back, there was a change in the amount of equity for two of the HAM projects, while the deal value with the Cube remains same. As I see the presentation, the numbers have remained the same. So we can basically assume that these numbers will remain the same in terms of the equity and the debt component of the project, and these have been finalized and frozen, right, sir?
Now what we have mentioned, it is almost now, because these three projects is almost over. We expect that by Q1 actually we should get at least PCOD. We are trying to get by end of the Q1 PCOD. So definitely, what are the composition for debt equity, what mentioned for these three projects, it will be the remain the same actually.
Okay. Sure, sir. Great, sir. Thank you so much for taking my questions, and wish you all the best.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Parvez Akhtar Qazi from Edelweiss Securities. Please go ahead.
Hi. Congratulations on a good set of numbers. Couple of questions from my side. First, I'm sorry I missed the consol debt and the consol cash figures, so if you could provide that. And also, you mentioned about 12 crore interest income from some projects, so would it be possible to repeat it?
Well, in this state, what I want to, because we actually in Karnataka state, actually we have executed one project in almost 10 years back. So on that project, actually, that project is basically given back-to-back, it was back-to-back project given to subcontractor. So we have received around 12.5 crores from the interest income from delayed receipt of the bills actually, from the authority. And as being this is a back-to-back project, we have passed actually this amount to the subcontractor. That's why other income is increased by 12.5 crores. So same way, finance costs also increased by 12.5 crores. And in the split of the consol debt actually, so consol debt is 750 crores actually as of December, and consol cash will be around 75 crores.
Oh, okay. Sure. And with regards to our depreciation trajectory, I mean, for last couple of quarters have been kind of lower. If we compare, let's say, with Q3 and Q4 of last year, so what do we expect the depreciation trajectory to be, let's say, in Q4 and in FY22?
Q4 will be the same range only actually, and definitely FY22 actually, because we are expecting that this irrigation project we are going to start by Q1 actually. So definitely next year, based on when we are going to buy, because we have to buy some of the machinery for that, and we are expecting some of the project in this year also. So next year definitely actually we have to really assess actually how much this will, but maybe it may little bit increase definitely from this year. Next year is going to be, there is some increase in there actually.
And so lastly, what is the capex that we have done in 9 months, and what is the plan for the future?
9 months actually we did around 60 crores of the capex. So this year we may end by 100 crores. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sure. Thanks. That's it from my side. All the best for future.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sachin Wankhede from Aditya Birla Sun Life Asset Management. Please go ahead.
This is Sachin from Birla Mutual Fund. So my question is with respect to the working capital. So just wanted to understand, since there is a lot of order book which is in the pipeline, and plus you are sitting on some of about 7,000 crore of order book. So with respect to the fund-based lines from the banking system, is it adequate to take care of your working capital, or you are going to approach the banks for enhancement of working capital?
Yeah, as it is, no, our sanction limit, even we are not fully utilizing. As GM was saying, there is a cash balance of 43 crores. So for us, whatever the sanction limit is quite sufficient for us. And with our cycling of bill coming at a faster rate, we feel that we could manage with the sanction limit. We will not go for the increase in limit.
Okay. So, what will be approximately your working capital cycle, maybe in terms of amount or number of days, if you are approaching or estimating some 2,500 crores of sales?
As on date, the working capital cycle has little come down. Working capital cycle has come down to around
55 days.
55 days.
Actually, this increase, it has a little bit increased from the last quarter, but the reason being that actually because around 333 crores of the HAM receivables actually, what is laying in our books actually, and we are not drawing the debt from our HAM SPV. So what is our understanding is that when there is a money requirement for the parent company, then only we should go for the disbursement from the bank. So that's why this quarter there is a little bit enhancement in the working capital, but per se, if you see outside, receivables from the outside is on very lower side actually.
Okay. Thanks. That's it from my side.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shravan Shah from Dolat Capital Markets. Please go ahead.
Thank you and congrats for a good set of numbers, particularly on profitability front. Most of the question has been answered. Sir, on the capex front, this year you said, but next year once the irrigation starts, do we require further capex, and broadly how much capex are we planning for next year?
So next year, that's we have not assessed, but maybe it may be somewhere around 100 to 120 crores, what we are thinking that.
To specific projects, I think last time we have talked about in terms of completing Hubli-Hospet by March, but this quarter it seems the execution is lower. So when do we expect the Hubli-Hospet to be completed?
By June. Actually, we expect by June we should be able to complete that project.
There are some land issues still. That is the reason why we are...
Okay. And these two new irrigation projects that we are expecting to start in a full swing from the next quarter onwards.
One project will start sooner, maybe by end of March or so. The other project, it will take some time.
The bigger one you are saying, 1600 crore one would be starting in March?
The bigger one, we already started excavation in fact. Concreting of one particular component will be started in the month of March. There are some model studies going on. So after getting approval for those model studies, we will start.
Sorry, sir, I didn't get you said that the 1600 crore one you have already started, and the 700 crore one...
excavation for one particular component of the project, and concreting also will be started in the month of March.
Okay. So in this quarter, broadly, roughly how much execution can be expected from these both projects totaling around...
How much of execution in this quarter? The execution will be substantial in the next quarter only, but we will commence the operations.
Okay. And Venkatrathan sir has talked about the 3 projects to be completing.
Those are HAM projects. 3 HAM projects.
This will be completing by June.
PCOD maybe by this March. June. PCOD maybe by...
So is there any so the entire order book left right now as on December? So in these 3 projects, around significant 1,000 odd plus crore is left. So how much to be completed in this quarter, and is there any de-scoping that can happen if there is any land issue? Previously we had talked about, I think so in Trichy there is some land issue.
We have to see, basically we don't want to have any de-scoping in the project. In case there is any insistence on the NHA, we will say a few 1 or 2 kilometers. Otherwise, we don't insist on de-scoping. We will do it in the defect liability period.
Sorry to interrupt. Mr. Venkatrathan, if you could speak a little louder, please. You're sounding too distant.
Yeah.
There will not be any intended de-scoping.
Okay. So broadly, the entire order book which is left as on December, mostly it should be over by March and June.
Yeah, mostly by June. Yes.
Okay. That's it from my side, and all the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Prem Khurana from Anand Rathi. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you for taking my questions. So two questions. So one was, given the fact that 3 of our hybrid annuities are due for completion shortly, you said by June you would be able to finish these and have COD in place. So have you been able to kind of engage with Cube to understand whether they would be willing to put in money now, or would you want to wait for clarity to come through on the bank rate issue and then only go ahead with the transaction?
Definitely for infusion of money, as I already told in the last con call also, no, we are not envisaging any investment from them. So now we definitely, the sale of these 3 projects with the Cube, the deal is on track actually. We are on discussing, and what are the bank rate issue is there, that is a industry issue, it is not specific to any KNR. We are also working out how to we mitigate that. So we are on, it is on discussion actually, and definitely actually we will update you at the appropriate time actually.
Sure. And so there was this recent change wherein now you're allowed to exit by COD plus 6 months versus earlier a requirement of staying with the asset for 2 years after COD. And if we were to agree on the terms, would you be willing to kind of exit in another 6 months? After the COD comes through?
Yeah, definitely. We will, because initially we thought COD plus 2 years. Now NHAI has relaxed the guideline. So definitely, actually, we are looking for that, and it is very positive move from the NHAI, and definitely we will do it actually. COD plus 6 months, we will definitely want to do.
Okay, sure. And sir, was there any de-scoping during the quarter in terms of order backlog? Because when I compare last quarter versus this quarter and adjust for the revenues that you booked, there appears to be a gap of almost around 200 odd crores, because last quarter our order backlog was almost around 8,500. Now we are at around, 8,500 minus, if I were to adjust for the 700 odd crore rupees kind of number that you booked, it works out to be 7,800 odd crore rupees, but then the order backlog is 7,650 odd or 77. So there's a gap of almost around 200 odd crore rupees. So what would explain this gap?
Yes, basically, as you told, because our accounting is based on percentage of completion, based on expenditure, and order book is based on certification. So as you know, this quarter actually we have received lot of certification from our Malana Sagar project. Okay. So that's why there is some overbilling on this project. That's why order book looks comparative to revenue.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. And just one last time, if you could help us understand the status on your Navyoga project, the Palamaru. In terms of, there was some land which was pending to come, and how much has already been executed, and what is the status now in terms of by when do we expect to kind of complete this project? So Malana has been going good. It's more than
almost 90% complete. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the government is very serious now to complete Palamaru Rangareddy scheme.
Okay.
So, last 1 week, there have been 2 meetings conducted by Chief Secretary and then Principal Secretary Irrigation. So they are very particular, and they instructed the government officials to see that land is cleared within next 30 days. So in Vattem we have almost around 900 or 980 meters left. Mm-hmm. So that 980 meters we are expecting by another month, based on the assertion given by the Principal Secretary.
Sure. And once we want to have this, then how long would it take us to be able to finish the entire project?
In fact, they are insisting us to complete by June, July. But that may not be possible. It will be by, if they give land by, say, for example, March ending, it may take till next March to complete.
Okay. Sure, sir. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of B. Vijay Kumar from Spark Capital. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I would like
sorry to interrupt.
Hello?
Mr. Vijay Kumar, we could request you to speak a little louder, please.
Hello.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
I would like to know. Hear you.
You are able to hear me now?
Yes. Can you come off speaker?
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, this is better.
Yeah, now it is okay. Yeah.
Okay. So I would like to know the order book status of some of the irrigation projects, some of the big ticket, like Navyuga irrigation project, Mega Engineering Kaleshwaram and Kaleshwaram project link, the conveyor system. Is it possible to give the order books?
Yeah. For Navyuga, that Vettam order book is actually 775 crores. And for Nalana Sagar, it is 195 crores.
775 for Navyuga, Mega
195, yeah.
Okay, that is 195.
Yeah.
Okay, and then for the Kaleshwaram, both the projects?
It is the same only. It is other two packages the same only. 1600 crores and 1695. It is the same one.
Okay. And on the road projects like Kanchugranhalli to Jigani and some of the other things that you four laning of
this I think this Bidadi is 133 crores.
Okay.
And this Kanchipuram is just actually 2 crores only.
Okay. Kanchipuram?
Kanchipuram is 2 crores only. And Arcot Villupuram is just 2.5 crores.
Okay, can you come again on that, please? Sorry, I didn't.
You are asking what? You are asking about Kanchipuram, no?
The other projects, basically, the other projects that in the order book.
You tell which project name. You just specify the project name, we will tell you.
Flyover at Ramanathapuram and Singam Junction.
This the Ramanathapuram and Sangam, this is around 88 crores.
Okay, 88 crores. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I think I'm. That's it. Thank you.
You can ask offline. Actually, we will provide.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ashish Shah from Centrum Broking. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Sir, can you give me a breakup of revenue for the quarter for EPC, HAM and irrigation?
Yes, for HAM it is around, for the quarter is around 49%.
Okay.
For irrigation it is around 29%. And balance are EPC projects.
Right. Also, just one question on the margin. I mean, we did say the general level of margins to remain where we are. But given where the increase has happened in terms of most commodities, and given that for the new irrigation packages, we might have to have a high share of procurement of a lot of inputs. So, do we expect that the margins will be maintained, or do you think there can be some adverse impact? Because in general, the level of prices have gone up, the commodity prices have gone up.
Definitely, as far as
you might have to procure a lot of things.
Look, definitely, as far as the HAM project is there are the fixed EPC price projects. So definitely, what are the price increase in the material is going to, definitely it will have impact. But whereas the EPC project is there, some price escalation is already built in the contract, but definitely it is not the 100% pass through. So it is around 50 to 60% is pass through. So definitely there may be some impact actually of the material actually in the execution of the project. Even HAM also actually this what are the inflation they have built up in CPI and WPI. Now, previously it is on very lower side, but last 1.5 months we are seeing that it is moving towards upward direction. So I think that increase may be compensated through this, but overall there may be some impact will be there.
There will be some impact definitely.
Okay. So are we in a position to quantify that impact, or we
No, we are still working. It's very difficult to quantify because the rates have been changing quite frequently, no? Because there is no fixed vertical increase and all that. For example, steel is raising like anything, cement also, and diesel also. So in the case of EPC projects, there is no issue because there is price escalation covered there, and diesel and all that point to point will get. But the steel and cement and all that, based on indices, there may be some kind of vertical deficiency on that total recovery. But HAM, there will be some impact, which we are studying yet.
Right. But our irrigation contracts are basically fixed price, right? I mean, there is no escalation built into the irrigation package.
Because they have, there is a price escalation policy there, and it is based on the prices of the materials, specified materials and all that. That should not be a problem there.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Jiten Rushi from Axis Capital. Please go ahead. Jiten, your line is on top.
Good evening, sir. Thanks for taking my question. Most of the questions are answered. So just one question on the irrigation project. So the two new irrigation projects, as we said during the call, that the larger one has just started, but the major work will start from Q1, and for the smaller one also it will start from Q1. Just wanted to understand, sir, are you looking to complete this project at a faster pace, like what you have done in the past, like 18 months, which can help us on a better margin?
No. Because see, it will take definitely what is called the stipulated period. Especially.
Sir, voice is not clear, sir. Can you speak a bit loud? Thank you.
The biggest project is definitely what you call it involves pump house and all that. So it will not be completed before the schedule. So we may have to completely expend the time given in the contract.
That is 24 months, right, sir?
Yes, 24 months.
So, but the design work is done, because last quarter also we were talking about that the designing part is still left, and so the capex is still not identified. But now, as you said, the work has started. So I'm assuming the capex must have been identified, and the designing work.
No. Basically, for example, once we start doing something, if there is some kind of vertical materials encountered at foundation level, we may have to change the design again. So that kind of process is going on, and once that is done, again we have to do some model analysis. So that will be done in some independent hydraulic laboratory. Based on that, drawings will again get some changes and facelift and all that. So that process is going on. That is the reason why I said we will start concreting by end of March. That's what I said.
Okay, so it will take one more month to finalize, and then the work will start.
Yeah.
And sir, the second project also, we will the schedule completion is 24 months, and we are planning to complete on that.
But there is an issue of land there, and that is the reason why they were proposing some alternative and all that. So they are still contemplating on that alternative. So from the time, from the date they hand over the land, we can reckon 24 months, not from the date of signing the agreement.
So then, what is the probability of
probability
getting the land
another 3 to 4 months. That's what I feel personally.
So how much of the land is available as on date, sir?
Land is not there. That's the problem.
Achha, there is no land at all. Okay. So sir, so that will take some time. So we don't expect any much revenue coming from this project. And sir, on the
next year also, I suppose one project we may expect some 300 to 400 crores, and another project we may touch some 100 crores. I don't know. This is a very wild guess.
So basically, sir, the Malana Sagar project will get over this year, and the Navyuga will complete by next year end, and 400 crores or 300 crores from the larger one and 100 crores from the smaller one we are expecting in FY22 in terms of revenue.
Yes,
right, sir?
That's what we are projecting now at this point of time. It may change later.
And and on the bidding side, I said in the opening remarks that 15 projects we have bidded for NHAI amounting to 20,000 crores. So, and there is one more EPC project. So, sir, can you just highlight in which state we have bidded for, and when will the bids open for these projects?
Mostly we are bidding in the South India.
And sir, which there is one more EPC project. What is the value of that? I think it is 20,000.
It is around 1,000 crores actually.
So basically 21,000 crore is the outstanding.
1,000.
So when will it?
100 crores.
Total is 21,000 including the HAM. And sir, when is the bid?
That's why we bid, yeah.
Yeah, 21. So when are the bids expected to open, sir?
See, basically in Tamil Nadu and Kerala, there's almost in another week to 10 days, they will open all the tenders because of the election code and all that. So Karnataka, it may take another 10 days.
Okay, so Karnataka next 10 days in Tamil Nadu.
By March ending, we will be knowing where we are and how we are faring, how we fared and all that, right?
Okay, so basically all this should happen by March.
It should be positive only for us. We are expecting reasonable numbers.
Okay. Sir, Reddy sir is there? Is around on the call? Or?
He's not there actually.
Okay. And sir, the margin guidance we maintain at 7%-8%. That is something.
Yeah.
Sir,
We will maintain that.
Interest cost, as you said in the opening call, that it has come down, but obviously going forward the finance costs will go up. So, do you see this cost going beyond 10 crores, or we will be maintaining it a rate of quarterly 100 of 8-9 crores?
As of now, we think that it won't cost more than 10 crores, but definitely, as I told you, based on utilization of working capital. But as of now, we know that we are not using much working capital. We expect that to be in the same range only.
Sir, any interest-bearing mobilization advance as on date?
It is there. 57 crores outstanding was there from NHAI.
And these are interest-bearing? Okay.
Interest, yeah, that is, yeah.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. So from my side, thank you and all the best, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Anupam Gupta from IIFL Capital. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Just two questions. Firstly, is there any talk of selling the fourth HAM asset also to Cube? Is that in pipeline or will that take some time?
The discussion is going on because almost, as you know, already term sheet is there. Whatever the term sheet there for 3 projects is going to applicable for this only. So
okay.
They are also showing interest to take. There is no issue on that. Only this how, as you know, that how this bank interest is going to be negotiated. So we are working on that actually, and that's why we are working on that.
Okay, understand. And secondly, sir, margins, you said raw materials will have an impact, but let's say given the spike in metals and crude and other inputs, can fourth quarter and next couple of quarters be sharply down, or will it be under control? Because why I'm asking that is basically because you said 3 projects are nearing completion, and in that time typically the either concrete or bitumen both are used. So will that impact a larger impact in this on the next few quarters, or will it be manageable?
Next quarter it will be manageable. Because the works are almost completed, no? So the only dollars are so that impact may not be so much.
Okay, understand. That's all, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Faisal Hawa from HG Hawa and Company. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So I just wanted to understand that so far we have been able to manage the transition from smaller sub 500 crore orders to 1500 crore orders very easily. What will be the next path of growth, say 4 years from now? Has the management charted out a way to really grow beyond 3,000, 4,000 crores turnover? That is one question. And secondly, don't you feel that this is like an inflection point for the road construction industry, where most competitors are still not much active, and you could really grab this inflection point by taking a large chunk of orders and have a very good runway for the next 4 to 5 years? And have we been a little more liberal with our bidding process this time, because we do tend to lose orders because of our very strict margin requirements? So do you feel that those have been relaxed for these 15 biddings this time?
See, basically the last part of your question. there is still a lot of competition. Even in the recent tenders which we bid last couple of days also, 10 people, 10, 12, 13 people are bidding for HAM projects because of the liberalization of experience and all that. Say the bank guarantees and all that, no, they liberalize now. So obviously many players are coming into picture. So competition is still persisting. So it doesn't mean that we can grab the orders and keep it in our kitty and all that. So that problem will be there and it will stay. And as far as the larger size of the project is concerned, slowly I think we may, because now, as you said, from 500 crores to 1,000 crores, we are already there, and even 1,500, 1,600 crores also we took. So 2,000 and odd we can take, but the problem is that the orders are not there. The kind of sizes are not there. So once the sizes are there, we are eligible also, we can bid. And as far as the odd turnovers are concerned, we will be very gradual. We will not be sudden. The growth will be not sudden, it will be very gradual.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shanti Pail Investment Advisors. Please go ahead.
Sir, since the government through budget is emphasizing more on infrastructure, what will be the future of infrastructure in general, and in particular, what will be the impact on our company in terms of revenue and percentage, etc.?
So the budget has specifically emphasized more on infra. And the basic thing is, unless otherwise in any country, or in any situation, if you don't give more emphasis on infra, you will not have capital goods industry will not go up, and the material industry, cement steel industry will not go up. Then there will be a labor component, and then engineers and other people will not be employed. So all these things taken into account, infra has to be given more weightage. So that's why government also has given more weightage on infra. And another 4 to 5 years, there won't be any dearth in orders. That much is sure. So there is a positive outlook for infra industries for the next 5 years.
So you mean to say next 2-3 years our turnover may double?
Yeah, slowly it will go up, sir. Definitely it will go up. Because the orders which we are having have to be completed, let us say, in next 2.5 to 3 years. So your turnover also has to go up. And moreover, as and when the opportunities or chances is coming up, the company also will not lose its sight in taking more orders.
That I agree with you, sir. But then approximately it can get doubled according to you, looking to the trend which is prevalent today.
Year-on-year basis, you can put 50 to 20% increase. If you take that into account, maybe the next 4 years to 5 years period, it should double.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ravi Naredi from Naredi Investment. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much to give me opportunity. Sir, this quarter, why Avinashi Road in Coimbatore project going very slow? Any specific reason?
It has just started, sir, because this project has just started. Because you know that this project contains 11.5 kilometers of elevated structure. So there will be, it's starting actually, there will be definitely some designs and everything is required there. That's why this project is slowly moving. Once all design will be in place, definitely this project will move fast. And this project has to be completed in actually 39 months. So
39 months, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And sir, various claims of the companies are pending with various authorities. So anything you want to tell by Q4 how much we can receive? Because it is just you don't know also, but just likely how much we can receive in this quarter.
So this quarter we are not expecting anything.
Not expecting. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. All the best.
Thank you. That was the last question. I would now like to hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for your participation in our earnings call. We have uploaded the presentation of our at our company's website. In case of any further queries, you may get in touch with the strategic growth advisors or investor relations advisor, or feel free to get in touch with us. Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of KNR Constructions, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.